Today we're going to talk about the book Penpal. So, this is based on a creepypasta with the same title. I believe this is the author's first book. I think it's very well written for the most part. There are a couple little issues I take with it, but I would recommend it if you're a fan of short stories that are horror based or if you're into creepypastas. Hence why I read it. So, my first issue with this book is that some of the transitions from chapter to chapter are a little just not super flowy. They kind of are a little choppy when they transition. So I didn't love that. There's one specifically towards the beginning of the book where it's such a sudden transition that it made me as the reader feel like I had almost skipped pages. And going back, I was like, oh, okay. And later on, as you read it, it does make sense why it was written that way and what it pertains to. But it is kind of a jarring transition. And it's very unexpected. And then a second thing, I feel like there is a little bit of fluff just pertaining to certain elements that the author brought into the book. And I don't think they were necessarily needed or thought out exactly the way that the author wanted them to be effective to the story. So maybe not quite as great of, detail that he had hoped it would be. I don't feel like all of it was needed. And then my third and my biggest gripe with this book is the main character's mom sucks butt. She's awful. Just doesn't care about anybody else and can't tell that her kid is having issues or like certain things aren't her kid. I don't know. Mom sucks. She was awful. And a few people died because she just didn't want to talk to her son. So boo on the mom. I will say though, I feel like this book is very entertaining and I did like certain things the book did. Like, I love that the antagonist is very mysterious. There's not really much to him. We don't get a sense of like why or really what he was doing for all that time. You just get kind of the gist, which I like. I enjoyed that. I think that was great. I do wish that maybe there was a little more detail as to what the antagonist did based off of other people and what might have happened. Like the old lady, I forgot her name. Dang it. I think it's like Maggie. I don't know. But the old lady with Alzheimer's, what happened to her? I would love to know. And you could have gone so creepy with that. It could have been insane what happened to her. Because he kind of implies a little bit, but then that's all you get is just like enough to be like, ooh, what did happen? But you never know. And then the whole cat thing, the cat thing could have been so freaking creepy. But just as it got good, the author was like, never mind. Never mind. So I was a little bummed about that. And then I will say, just the dedication that the antagonist has, that the author is able to display. Wow. I could never be dedicated enough to pull this off because this was years and years. And I don't have the patience. But another thing I didn't necessarily love was Veronica's whole story. I thought it was good bringing her back and trying to kind of like get a little bit of information from her. But I really did not like what happened to her. I just feel like it was a little outlandish or a little over the top. And so that kind of almost took me out of the story. I don't know. It was okay. I feel like it could have been better, but it wasn't too bad. And again, this book does read like a creepypasta, and that's fine. But I wouldn't expect too much. Like, this won't ever be my favorite book, but it is still a good book. I will say I did like the way that all of the like characters, they kind of connect, and the end of the book I think is done really well. I appreciate that you kind of get just enough closure for everyone, but then there's still like you still feel like you're missing details because freaking the main character's mom just sucks and won't talk about anything or give us really much of anything. So overall, I think it is a good story. I think if you like creepypastas, I think you'll enjoy this. I do think it is kind of more of a young adult read. So I wouldn't expect anything like too adult or mature. It is what it is. But overall, I think it is a good read. I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. And, you know, kudos to the author because he was like, I don't think I can write a story. He says it in his little he says it in his credits for everyone that helped with the story. He says that he didn't think he could do it, but way to push through. I think this was actually a really good book. I have read a lot worse books. So, yeah. If you are interested in this book, I say give it a shot.